Hi, it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and today I've got Dragonlings from Jasmine Becket-Griffith. This is her fourth colouring book, and it features little baby dragons. Now, this is the extended review where I'll test out some mediums at the end. If you'd like to just see the short flip through, please see the link below. So we've got that gorgeous dust jacket. It's got a slight texture on it, and we've got beautiful artwork on the inside as well. Got the title page. Now, the book is still a bit stiff because I haven't had it for long, but it does have stitching in it, so it should loosen up soon. Now, I believe Jasmine's images for these books are created of her original paintings. So they're not like drawings that she's drawn specifically for the colouring book. They're taken from the paintings and they do all sorts of techie stuff to put it into a colouring book. But aren't they gorgeous? So we've got just a variety of little dragonlings, little baby dragons. We've got some grey shadowing here to make it easy for us to colour. We've got borders around, and on the back, we have the name. Now, in this book, she's put a lot of images on a landscape and some on a portrait style. So I will be turning the book around so that you can get a better view. Now, her renowned big-eyed girls feature, of course, throughout the book. You can't have dragonlings without beautiful big-eyed girls, but some have less eye detail and there's more detail in the back, and same with the dragons, as you'll see as we go along. This is just a gorgeous piece. Personally, if it was me, I'd probably scan it and turn it into a bookmark because it is just beautiful. It's the Peckable Dragonling, and we've got these amazing eyelashes and just this really soft, shadowy artwork here. And it's very soft, very lined, this one. And here we have the gorgeous close-up of the dragonling. Look at the detail on these wings. Now, some are really detailed, and you'll find that some are sort of very simple, and up to you to add all the detail in. And here we have Dragonling Valentine. It's beautiful. Again, not much detail on the eyes there or the eyebrows, but plenty of detail in the rest of the artwork. And I do like the border around each illustration. And you can see that the images have all been placed really well on the page so that you're not going into the ditch of the book to colour. So it's easy to colour right up to the edge. Now, there's actually 58 illustrations in here. So we've got beautiful bunny and we've got our little dragon in like an egg there. And then look at this, we've got all the dark lines and it's very different from the other images that we've seen. And here we've got the big eyes, but she looks kind of gaunt. And so just this huge variety there of different types of dragons. And even the big-eyed girls look somewhat different in some of the images. So 58 illustrations, which is a lot, printed on just one side of the paper. Now, the paper is a smooth paper, it's ivory, it's 150 GSM. If you have other books by Jasmine, it's the same paper. If you have Christine Caron's Artist Edition books, it's the same paper as that as well, and also the same size. So gorgeous illustrations here, much more simpler, not as many shadows, but a fierce looking baby dragon there. This is the 12-sided dice. Uh, Lots of gorgeous detail. This one's got really solid black lines, which I haven't seen on any of the others. and a lot of, like, little filler detail there. I'd be interested to see what the original painting of that looks like. We've got the darling dragon, and it's a little cutie, little cute little dragon. She's got little flowers and whatnot in her hair, and she's really beautiful, but there's so many details. I think I'd have to be carefully looking at the page to make sure I know what I'm colouring. Now here we've got really fine line art in the background here. It's very fine, fainter, same here and same here. It's to sort of indicate that it's really in the background and this is your focal point here. And this dragon has hardly any detail at all on it. We've got our beautiful girl here, a lot of detail in that hair, and some really darker lines here on these edges as well. Gorgeous little dragons on it, just so cute. And another where they've used a lot of circles to indicate scales. And I'd be interested just to see what they look like in the painting of them. In this one, we've got a pile of fruit and a very little tiny, skinny little dragon. Halloween style dragon might be a good one to save for Halloween. And then we don't have a big-eyed girl. We've got a big-eyed sort of maiden over here, or a princess. And again, this dragon has very faint little circles on it. I don't know whether you can see it. And the hand on this maiden or princess, she actually looks a bit cartoonish, the hand, due to that simplified line art. And again, more dice. So we've got the 8 dice fairy. Lots of swirls and whatnot here in the background. Very thin line art here and thin line art on this 20-sided dice. And another little dragon with, again, these soft circles. Not all over, just on part of there. But again, different hairstyle there. Also completely sort of different look. I do prefer the big-eyed girl's look personally because that's what I associate Jasmine with, but that's just me. And again, very detailed dragon here. And I think, there's just so much going on that you'd really need to stop and think and sort of think about what you're colouring on these. Beautiful one here with more dice. So over here we've got a little skull there and dragons. There's just so much going on. Look at this little dice or clock there. The flower dragon, which lots of gorgeous flowers in that one. And this one's a lot bigger, a lot there to the face. Might want to put down a base of something to do such a large area if you were using pencils. A lot of really strong dark lines on this one. So there's a really big variety as well, isn't there, in the line art with these dark lines, the different faces that we're seeing throughout. And this one's very, very simple. It's really simple. We've got no detail much on the dragon except for the eyes, and really no detail on her body, a little bit on the background. So it's really one that you can sort of go crazy with your imagination on. We've got our little baby dragon here, and she's got her hair in pigtails, got some crystals. I don't think we've seen them earlier. And then this is very faint in the background there. the Sienna Dragonling. She's got some gorgeous little leaves and whatnot in her hair. And the dragon doesn't look overly happy to be cuddled. Snapdragon, fairy, little tiny dragons there. They're so small you can't even see these little dragonlings. And the wintry dragonling. So lots of very faint bushes in the background, and these wings are in a darker color, as is the hair. So you can sort of distinguish where the background and foreground is. Now, this is another cute little dragon, and really there's so many dragons, isn't there? I wonder how many there are in the actual book. I don't dare to count because I'll probably miss some because some are so small. Isn't this one cute with her beautiful hair? We've got that fainter background. We've got some great butterflies and some whopping big leaves here. And the dragon's got a real attitude. We've got the pumpkins there. So maybe a good one for fall or autumn colouring. Now this one, the wings have so much detail on them, as does her bodice there compared to other ones. And then we've got this faint grass and faint dirt and trees, etc. in the background. These trees are lighter grey, and then very faintly in the back we've got the canopies of other trees. And over here we've got just faint imagery of two humans over there, and very faint trees, bees, and little tiny dragons with attitude. So many cute images here, and really, I don't know how many dragons there are, but there's lots of bunny rabbits in this one. There's birds, there's frogs. There's so much going on in that dragon garden. And here we've got the dragon over here. He's sort of in her hair. And there's so many gorgeous images. And we've got the ninja dragons. And this must be a part of a series. We've got faint lines in the background there. Gorgeous pagoda there. And like a sword. Very fine lines on this one. And this is the second part, the ninja dragons. So very cute. Look at the dragons. They're just tiny. So you've got a huge variety. If you like dragons and like big-eyed girls, you've got a massive variety of illustrations. Now we've got the vampire dragonling. It doesn't really look like a vampire, but there's heaps of skulls there, and it's a bit creepy. Maybe save that for Halloween. And the red dragon. This is really nice with the trees in the background, but look at the wings on this dragon. It looks quite grumpy. Lots of detail here in the background on this priestess one. The liner is really dark black. Now, if you do have a visual impairment, some of these drawings might be too faint lined for you, because some of them do have a lot of different varieties of black in the lineup there. Now, Jasmine's had 4 colouring books here: Alice in Wonderland, Mermaids, Halloween, her original book, and now this gorgeous one based on dragons. We've got this gorgeous artwork on the back of the dust jacket. There's slight texture to that, but the craft card cover, and the only thing left to do is to test out some mediums. Now, I'm using a variety of different pencils on this book. If I haven't included your favourite pencil, check out the links below, because I have used mediums in different books by the same publisher that use the same paper, so you can see how those mediums perform if I haven't included it on this test. So I'm going to use that front page, and we'll get started. Okay, let's test out these alcohol and wet mediums first. We'll start with the Copic marker. I put paper behind it because being alcohol marker, it will probably ghost through to the other side of the page. So there's our Copic. We'll let that dry. Let's try the Tombow marker, which is water-based. I seem to have picked a marker that's drying out, but no, it's reinvigorated itself now. And you can add water to that as well, so we'll give that a try. Usually I just use it straight on, but you can dilute it with water if you want. The Zig Clean Brush water-based markers goes on very smooth. The Inktense pencil, which is ink pigment, and we'll add water to activate that. Goes on very smooth, evens out very well. Really lovely always to use. The Neocolor II by Caran d'Ache. Again, we'll activate that with some water. Goes on very smooth. We'll wait for them to dry before we have a look on the other side of the paper, so that at the time I finish doing the pencils, you can see if it dries. Now, the cheap as cheerful Crayola Super Tips, they're water-based, so they should be okay. So let's do the pencils. Okay, let's try the Prismacolor first. Now, as I said, if I don't have your pencil on this list, just check the links below because I've probably used it in another video on the same paper as these books are. And it's going on super smooth, even on one layer. It's flattening down that tooth. Just going to blend two colors, going in a bit firmer here on the second layer. Now, the reason that I've used the Prismacolor here is because I want to show you what the Prismacolor Scholar looks like up against the Prismacolor. Now, the Prismacolor Scholar are the student brand, and really, I think they're pretty good. I think you can get them in a set of 100. So if you don't have the funds for the Prismacolor, but you would like to try them at the sort of reduced price, the Scholar version, they are still creamy, but they do have more of a firmness to them. So if you find the actual Prismacolor Premieres too soft, you might actually enjoy the Scholars. Now, they aren't as vibrant in the pigment, but I think they're pretty good, and they're a budget pencil. As I said, you can get them in sets of 100, I believe. And I enjoy using mine. Often I use them in my Japanese coloring books, but they're still a pretty good, pencil, especially if the Premiere is out of your range or you just don't want to spend that money. Now, these are the Arrtx pencils, and again, these are a good brand. They come in a variety of sizes. I've done reviews on them before. They're really going down smoothly on the paper and really pushing down on that tooth. And they can do multiple layers, so just like with the other ones I've tested, do a second layer here. And it blends really well. I've just randomly picked these colors out of the box, so they're blending really well. They've got vibrant color. Very soft and pretty easy to use. Now these are the Tombow Irojiten pencils. Beautiful pencils, but they are slightly harder, and I think for the big areas in this book on a lot of those pictures that it would give me a lot of pain. I'd prefer something softer if I was doing big areas like that. Blend really well. They're pushing down on the paper, and they're just so beautiful to look at. If you haven't seen the Irojitens, I've got videos on my channel of them. But one of the great things about them is that each little set is designed to sort of complement each pencil in it. So they come in that little box, and each pencil works or is designed to go with that color. Now, the Lyra Rembrandt pencils, these were actually my first fancy pencils that I ever bought, and I remember being just blown away spending that much money on a set of pencils. They go really soft. Little was I to know later on I would be spending a lot more. They go on very soft down here. The barrel is very lightweight, so it's easy to hold, but it is quite small, so it might get painful if you're holding it for a length of time. But they blend in really well. They're doing the second layer. You can do much more pressure on it. It's flattening the tooth out. And beautiful colors on them. I don't know why I don't use them as much, but I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Let's turn over and see what happened. Now, I did have that blank piece of paper there to ensure that I didn't get bleed through. I used a lighter color Copic marker, but it still did bleed through, but it didn't touch this page that I put there to protect it. So as long as you put protective paper in between, remember this is not alcohol-based paper, so just put protective paper or card between it. Now, with the Tombow, usually when I put the Tombow on direct, it doesn't bleed through, or it's slightly ghost, but not as bad as it's ghosted here. And that's because I added water to it, as you were able to with the Tombow. So just bear that in mind and perhaps put paper down. Now, as you'll see, the other wet medium didn't leave a mark, a bubble, or anything on the paper. So there we have it. We've got quite a few little mediums tested there. So that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy colouring.